This is Janine Burke. She was able to survive the Holocaust by being a hidden child. Janine had a brother who was 12 years older than her. He was able to be hidden in a Christian home since he did not look like a typical Jew. Janine also had a sister who was 8 years older than her. She had a bone disease, so she was hidden in an isolation ward where she lay in bed for 2 years. However, when she was taken out of the isolation ward, she had to learn to walk again. Janine Burke was a hidden child from ages 3 to 5. She saw her father for the last time when he dropped her off at the home where she would be hidden. She was not allowed to go in front of the home, only occasionally in the backyard. When the Nazis used to parade around the neighborhood and make everyone open their front doors, Janine would hide in the outhouse. She believed that if she could see them parading outside, they would be able to see her. She specifically remembers crawling into the outhouse and grabbing a kitty cat. She grabbed the cat to protect the animal, but also to have something to hold on to because she felt so alone and scared. Janine had no toys growing up, so anything she played with was imaginary. Any toy a child was lucky to have played a special part in their childhood. The people who were hiding her never showed any love or affection towards her. As a result of this, she spent these 2 years of her life feeling both alone and scared. Depending on where you were hidden, your relationships with the outside world differed. Some children were allowed to go to school, but most children were physically concealed. The most Jews were killed in Auschwitz over any other concentration camp. There were 3 main camps: Auschwitz I, Auschwitz II, Birkenau, and Auschwitz III. Birkenau was the death camp where the majority of gas chambers and crematoriums were located. In the fall of 1941, the first gassings was carried out in a small farmhouse that was sealed off. The first test was executed here. Gas chambers became the Nazis' method of choice for mass slaughters. The Sonderkommando were a group of Jews that were in charge of cleaning out bodies and sorting clothes of the dead. On October 7, 1944, they revolted and tried to destroy as many gas chambers and crematoria as possible. 4 women smuggled gunpowder into the camps for this operation and were among the last prisoners to be murdered. Janine's father was gassed while at Auschwitz. The Gestapo was known as the secret police of Nazi Germany. They later played a role in helping to carry out the final solution. Gestapo members were included in deployment groups, which were mobile death squads that followed Germany's army in order to kill Jews and other unwanted people. During the war, her mother went to hide in a prearranged location. She went to a nursing home out in the countryside. Her mother did not have dark hair and a hooked nose, but rather blonde hair and blue eyes, which fit Hitler's stereotype. Janine's mother struggled to take care of her kids after the war and soon after contracted breast cancer. The doctors were able to remove her breast, but by the time the surgery was complete, it had already spread to the rest of her body. Janine's mother died at the age of 45. In the fall of 1944, Janine's mother came to pick her up from the house where she was hidden. Days later, she remembers seeing soldiers on the street and starting school. Janine and her family waited for her father to return, but he never did. They later found out from an agency that her father had been gassed in Auschwitz. Janine did not have any memories of her father except for one little picture she kept of the 2 of them. In March of 1950, the International Ladies Garments Workers Union invited Janine and her sister to fly to New York for their 50th anniversary celebration in Atlantic City. While Janine was in New York, she got her first toy doll and loved it very much. Soon after returning to Belgium, she received a letter from the Savage family offering to adopt her. She landed in New York on her 12th birthday, not speaking English and weighing only 62 pounds. She got married young and had 2 boys, but then later got divorced. She met Maurice in 1970 and married him. Janine and Maurice now have 6 children and 9 grandchildren. Janine did not begin to speak about the Holocaust until she joined the New American Social Club. In 1985, she attended the World's Gathering of Holocaust Survivors and got to speak with survivors with similar or even worse experiences. Janine wishes she knew the woman who had hid her those 2 years so she could go to Belgium and thank her for saving her life.